You know, this conversation we're having as a nation about what to do about welfare is one that we really need to have. But I tell you what I find just a little bit dishonest. Now, I don't want to live in a country that doesn't look after its old people and its profoundly disabled. But every time, and it's mostly television to blame here, but I've heard it on the radio as well, every time we're talking about reforming, revamping the welfare system, a picture is used of a profoundly disabled person in a wheelchair. Somebody with cerebral palsy. Now, the dishonest thing about that is their circumstances are not going to change. Now, if you read that report, now, the report came from a guy, McClure, who's worked in charity all his life. So he's not going to be cutting benefits for people who need their benefits. But you always see in the television stories someone in a wheelchair who is severely disabled. Their benefits don't change. If you are severely disabled, you won't be kicked off benefits and told to go to work because you can't go to work. So as I say, as a nation, we can't afford all of this stuff, folks. If we're going to build the infrastructure we need, we're going to build all the things we need into the future, there has to be a revamp. I could go on for hours, of any number of things, the taxation system being one of them, and we're going to do that too. There's a white paper on that. So this all has to be addressed. But the trouble is, it's emotive. Unnecessarily emotive when you put a person in a wheelchair on television and say, well, you don't say, but you intimate that person is going to lose their benefits. They're not. The only suggestion I've heard made is if you are able to work, then you should work. And as McClure says, work is a form of rehabilitation in itself. Don't you feel better about yourself when you go to work? Surely. I know there's some people who are quite happy to take the money and not do anything, go to the pub and spend their money on poker machines and booze and cigarettes and having a lot of kids. But there can't be that many of them. The system doesn't allow that anymore. So if we're going to have this conversation, let's have it by taking the emotion out of it and be serious with each other rather than emotive and unnecessarily, well, grandstanding is what some of the politicians are doing. Let's have it properly, hey? Because we're grown up, aren't we? I'd like to think so.